Hey everybody, John Henry Soto with Costanza and Providence Real Estate Agency right here in Bayonne, New Jersey. Thank you so much for reaching this point, watching this video and the other videos and reading my emails. I truly appreciate you for doing that. I'm hoping that I can give you an insight into Bayonne, New Jersey and into who I am and if I am the one that can help you kind of find a place for your family, for you, if you're an artist. I have a lot of background on in the arts and stuff, which I'm going to tell you about right now. First thing, I was born in the South Bronx, as you probably read in my last email, during the 70s and the 80s, if you all remember, or maybe you don't remember, but in the 70s, the Bronx is burning was a real thing. The Bronx did burn down. There was a lot of images that I have growing up in that environment. During the 80s was the birth of crack, which was not fun, and it really decimated a lot of lives, and it was really a tragedy um, for a lot of families and stuff that I personally knew. So it gave me a real appreciation for family, for friends, for community, and for environment. So I really kind of wanted to always live in a place where I felt safe, where I can walk with my guitar and not feel like I was going to get attacked, and just coming from a gig or something. I am a musician. I've been playing guitar for a very long time. I played with groups, I recorded albums and toured, and later on I actually got into film, and I directed and wrote a few films. You can check me out on IMDb, and you can see some of my work there. And I wrote a couple of things, and I also acted in films as well. So I come from the arts. I'm a very artistic person. I love artists, and I love helping artists, and I love just helping people in general. So I came to Bayonne, New Jersey, so I could actually do a little bit more art in a more relaxed environment. New York City is a wonderful place, and I love it, but it's so expensive and it's so difficult as you're trying to build yourself up and you're trying to get work and you're trying to pay rent and food, and the Metro card it seems to be going up every few weeks, and it got a little crazy. So my wife and I, we have a small 5-year-old, a 6-year-old daughter now. At the time, she was only 2, and we moved here to Bayonne. We actually have a son now who's 6 months old, and so we really made Bayonne our home. And when we moved here, we had no idea where Bayonne was or where it sits in relation to anything else. I thought it was in Brooklyn because Ralph Cramden from The Honeymooners always mentions Bayonne. He's always like, "Yeah, we gotta get Bayonne. We gotta get Bayonne. Hey there, Ralph. We gotta get Bayonne." So I'm thinking it's in Brooklyn. So I was researching it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, "Hey, it's in Jersey." So I told my wife, I said, why don't we go check it out? The rents seem reasonable and everything, and the houses seem very reasonable. So we came to Bayonne and we checked it out, and we really loved it here. It was like, wow, this is a really nice community. I was very close to the city, like 40 minutes. We didn't need a car. I can use public transportation and get into the city, just like if I lived in Brooklyn or anywhere else. It's just I'm on the other side of the water. So we just thought it was a no-brainer, and we came here about 5 years ago now. And since then, I've been able to shoot a lot more films. I've been able to write. I've been able to really build a brand. I've been able to do a lot of things that I know in New York City would have been a lot tougher to get done. And then real estate came into my life. I met a broker here who was probably the most famous broker in these parts here, definitely. And he, took me under his wing, and he kept suggesting I should become a real estate agent, real estate agent. And I finally said, yeah, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. And I did. I went out and I got my real estate license. And got to tell you, it was a just a great move on my part. And I really was grateful to the broker for really helping me and taking me under his wing. And just really educating me on Bayonne and the possibilities and all the exciting things that are happening here in town. So I thought, okay, well, how can I do real estate where I'm not going to fall asleep? Because it seemed a little bit like boring and stuff, and I wanted to kind of put a little bit of life into it. So what I did was, well, I'm an artistic guy, so I operate cameras and lights and all these stuff. So I was like, why don't I just do that? So this is one of the things I'm doing. I'm kind of just putting myself out there as a personality, so you guys know who I am, using technology, using social media, using videos and all the other things that you can use. Story, using a journey, using my journey and my story to kind of let people know. It's a very important thing for me to build a community, uh, having grown up where I did. And the reason this is actually important to me and that I'm trying to make important to you is because I'm sure that if you're an artist or if you're just someone who wants to have a nice place to raise a family, I'm sure that, you know, you're thinking constantly of where that's going to be, the school systems, it's just a very difficult thing, especially when you have kids, because it's not about you anymore. It's about your kids and giving them the space. Our daughter, we had a little small one-bedroom apartment when we lived in Queens, and she started crawling, and she's just bumping into walls at this point because the apartment was so small. And now we have two kids, and now we have so much room here for the fraction of what it costs to live in like in Brooklyn or definitely in Manhattan. So I just thought it was a really important thing to take that viewpoint as a real estate agent and to communicate that to anyone that's interested in learning about Bayonne. Okay, that's a lot of talking I'm doing. Um, Very sincerely, I want to offer my assistance to you if you're interested in learning more about Bayonne. I'm going to give you my direct number. It's 201 878 6556. That goes directly to me. You could also email me if you want to give me more specifics on what you're looking for, what your budget is, what the size of your family, where do you want to, are you interested in purchasing, are you interested in renting, or whatever that is. If you want to put that in an email and send it to me, you can email me at johnhenrysoto@gmail.com. That's my personal email. I want to thank you again so much for reaching this point. If you're at this point, that means that you've read everything and you've actually you're here. I'm completely shocked that you're here. So I really, really appreciate you so much for doing that. And I hope that I was able to give you some value and hopefully help you decide if Bayonne is for you or Hudson County. We can do Hoboken, we can do Jersey City, we can do all of Hudson County as well. So thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you and have a wonderful, wonderful day, evening, wherever you are. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.